You are now listening to The Couch on 24/7 Miami with your hosts, Chubby Dubby, Clem December,
It's Clem. December, it's Clem time.
and your boy Coleman.
Coleman, I had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor and no one liked me.
Let's go.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Yes.
Welcome back to The Couch, ladies and gentlemen. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful, exclusive Doral campus, Connecticut School of Broadcasting here in Florida. We are down a man today. Manny is not here with us. He is home with some sniffles, I think.
Yeah, the coughs.
He's got a little bit of coughs. Matt's under the weather a little bit here too. So
I'm all right. I'm all right.
He'll be okay. He'll be okay.
I'm
He's
all
gonna
right.
he's gonna troop right through it. You are listening to us live on YouTube right now. You can get the link at @thecouch_Miami. We're going to see if we can get on 247miami.tv. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we will not let that get in the way of progress. We have important things to get to, namely the NFL draft.
Right, progress. That's what every team hopes that they did over the weekend, was make some progress. Although, the NFL draft is a very interesting spectacle because they make this whole huge show out of it, and you really have no idea what just happened until the season starts. And even then, maybe, the Bears, Mitch Trubisky, we may not know if that's a good move until 3 or 4 years from now.
Right. I like the phrase from, one of our colleagues, Dan Levitard. He says hope trafficking.
Right.
Is what the draft is.
Right. That's what they're selling, dreams.
Exactly.
So that's why it's hard to do post-draft analysis. It's, as hard as it is to do pre-draft analysis because, even pre-draft, you're judging kids on, college performances, which to the end of time, there's always going to be guys who are busts, guys who end up being hidden gems that you found in the 6th round. So you really don't know where you're at after the draft in terms of the guys you picked, but we can talk about it.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I don't even know. I don't even know what is for sure. I don't even know.
Well, there's no amount of, it's impossible to be certain about anything. Just take recent examples, not so recent examples, but, Ryan Leaf taken, second overall right after Peyton Manning. He ended up being a bust. Jamarcus Russell taken first overall by the Raiders. These sort of things happen.
Right. And then
Tom Brady in the 6th round.
Right.
You have all sorts of these things. What was it? Terrell Owens went to Chattanooga State. I'm not sure exactly where he went, but, should be a Hall of Famer. Probably taken somewhere. We'll look that up later. Probably 6th or 7th round.
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
Something like
probably.
that. Somewhere in between there and the
probably
other place.
2 through 6 somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere like that. But let's get right into what the Dolphins did first.
So the Dolphins definitely got a value pick. At 22, it sounds like this Charles Harris was supposed to go a little higher. A lot of defensive value got pushed back in the draft because of how many offensive guys went in the top 10.
Right.
There was like 2 running backs, a quarterback, a wide receiver went 5. So a lot of offense went in the top 10, and it pushed back a lot of really good talent on defense. So you found a lot of teams picking like 15 through 20 were getting really good value. Like, it came to a point, after once Reuben Foster fell past like 14, anyone who took him was getting a value pick.
Right.
You had Jabril Peppers kind of fall because of, I think he's undersized, but maybe the weed thing, who knows? But Jabril Peppers kind of fell. So you got a lot of good value late in the draft, which the Dolphins, I think, did. Charles Harris, he's supposed to be, he's big, he's lanky, he's a pass rusher, he's strong. Like we alluded to before, Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Really?
It's a pick. It seems like it could be. It's a sort of safe pick. I mean, I like that we could use another end opposite Cameron Wake. That's what we were trying to do with what's his name, the guy that from Buffalo that we don't have anymore, Mario
Williams. Yeah,
he didn't work out.
He didn't work out, of course.
We're gonna draft this guy. He'll maybe he could be his predecessor or whatever.
Right?
Successor, not predecessor.
Yeah, in the NFL, and especially in the heat of South Florida, it doesn't hurt to have rotational defensive linemen.
Right.
If you can always keep
keep fresh.
Keep fresh. I kept wanting to say healthy, but I knew that wasn't the word. Keep fresh on the field, right? Okay. Obviously, Cameron Wake is aging, so you have to look towards the future. So that's what they did. A lot of people were clamoring for Reuben Foster once he was available at 22. Still, there's like a shoulder injury there, which is troubling for linebackers.
Yeah.
Because they hit with their shoulders and whatever. So, also. Our friends from the Dolphin Dorks were talking about I wish they were in here.
Oh.
There's a linebacker he wanted. Oh, this is bad radio. Anyways, what do you think?
About the Charles Harris pick? Or
yeah, just...
I didn't feel bad about it. I don't feel great about it. I don't know a whole lot about the kid. I didn't watch any Missouri football. I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it.
What I'm most... I like the fact that I went in saying I wanted them to get a guard. Forrest Lamp was like the best guard on the board. I don't remember if he went. I think he got taken before the Dolphins picked. Maybe he didn't.
No, he was taken afterwards.
Okay, so we could have had him. I wanted a guard in the first round. I thought getting the best guard in the draft would solidify our offensive line, and then our running game with J.J. would just be really good, and then that would help the passing game and all that. They actually went defense. They went heavy on defense. They went
really heavy on
defense.
Went
defensive end 1. They went Raekwon McMillan, the linebacker, in the second round.
My analysis of that is I love the name Raekwon. That's the only analysis I have of that.
McMillan's a cool name, too. It's a cool name all the way around.
Yeah.
It's a good football name. Just like Buda Baker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I love every NFL draft, the names. There's some cool names. Bud Dupree was good last year for the Steelers. But so, yeah, they went defensive heavy. They went linebacker, and then they went corner with the Clemson kid,
right? Who
I read hates to step up in the run game.
Oh, well, that's good.
But again, these are all guys. Raekwon McMillan could start, but these are all guys that are probably going to start the season backing up, playing just small roles. But then, okay, so I was getting to this. So the guard. Eventually, when they did draft a guard, they drafted this guy, Isaac something from Utah.
Tuialufa Totopo or something like that.
Yeah. I love it. I love like Samoan offensive and interior linemen, offensive or defensive. But the Samoans are always like they're tough, they're gritty. Like I don't know what it is with these guys, where they breed them or what, but
Samoa.
I guess so. I don't know if that's where he's from. It could be like Hawaii or even California, just whatever. I'm kind of maybe stereotyping because of his look.
Right.
But I've seen some highlight from him, and he just plays through the whistle. If you're not paying attention, I saw this one video of some defensive lineman that tried running a stunt right in front of him. He was in pass protection, so he was kind of stepping backwards, but some guy was in the area, and he just like went out of his way and just knocked him over. Just good football stuff.
Good.
So that's my favorite pick from the Dolphins.
Okay.
Is that the guard from Utah? That's what I'm kind of excited about that. I think he's going to start right away. He looks like the kind of guy that they can throw into the fire, and he'll be good.
It was an interesting draft to me in that it seems as though, at least for the Dolphins, I don't know if you want to go over the 5, 5, 5, and 6 pick. I have absolutely no idea who they are, other than the guy that you just mentioned. But then in the 7th round, they took a wide receiver from Virginia Tech, the only offensive skill position that they took in the entire draft, which sort of tells you that they kind of like think that they are where they need to be offensively.
Yes, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, A lot of people were saying, no, like you got to get something, we need another running back or, we need a better tight end, even though they just signed Julius Thomas.
Right. We just signed Julius Thomas. We just signed Anthony Fasano. And as far as wide receivers, we have
plenty.
Landry, Parker, Stills. Running back, you've got Jay Ajayi, Kenyon Drake, and the other one,
Williams,
Damian Williams. So, yeah, I mean, defensively last year, we gave up the most yards we've ever given up as a franchise. And that's a franchise that, we're usually good defense. Like our forte has been defense, the Jason Taylors, the Zach Thomas years, the Sam Madison. So the Dolphins, you want to see the Dolphins playing defense.
Right.
So they have not been doing that.
They were like middle of the pack in points allowed. I think they were like 16th, which is whatever. That's fine. Excuse me. But they were the third worst team for rushing yards and the fourth worst team in yards overall. So that they needed to address the defense.
Right. And so that's what they did. They went first pick defensive end, second pick linebacker. So we're trying to stop the run. They acquired Lawrence Timmons.
Right.
Right. So we'll see. Again, it's all a big old we'll see. Elsewhere in the draft, the Bears pretty much sold the farm to move up one whole pick.
This was confounding to me.
A head scratcher, to say the least.
Yeah. So what they ended up doing was the Bears were sitting at 3. The 49ers were sitting at 2 with the new GM, John Lynch, former linebacker. No, free safety. Free safety?
Yeah. Football player.
Safety. Football player. So they were sitting at 3. The 49ers were sitting at 2. They always, there's back alley dealings that you never figure out exactly. They tell each other who they think they're going to take. We were going to wheel and deal, do this, do that, do the other. The Bears gave the 49ers the third pick, the 67th pick, the 111th pick, and the 2018 third rounder to be named later to move up one spot and take a guy that the 49ers were not going to take anyway.
Not going to take. And to give up all those draft picks to draft a quarterback that probably is not going to start this year because
13 games in college.
13 games in college, and you just gave $15 million to Mike Longneck Glennon.
Yes.
But that's absurd on its own self, giving Mike Glennon $15 million annually. That's crazy in itself. Then you mortgage your whole draft to draft another quarterback that we know nothing about. That's another thing, too. These people who, Mitch Trubisky throughout the draft process kept climbing the board. Like, for what? We haven't seen him play.
I don't know.
UNC wasn't even that good last year. I mean, they were okay.
I don't know. I honestly, I can't tell you that I watched Trubisky play in college. I see the tape that they show or whatever, whatever. It looked okay. If I'm the Bears, I don't know what I'm doing there. And a lot of people, so there's been articles coming out and people, stuff gets leaked. And one GM of a team that consistently makes the playoffs said that he has no idea what the hell the Bears are doing. And it's weird because now you get rumors, or maybe not even rumors, it's getting leaked that the GM and the coach were fighting. John Fox, the coach, did not want Trubisky, did not want them to move up to 2 to take him. The GM did, so they're fighting about that. They invited the coach and Mike Glennon to the draft to watch it. So Mike Glennon, the quarterback that they just signed, who was supposed to be the starter, just watched them move up and draft his replacement.
Yeah, and I saw a quote that Glennon said he feels cheated on, which that's like an ugly chick feeling cheated on when her, handsome man finds something else. Like, yeah, Mike Glennon.
Maybe. Do you know that Trubisky's better than Glennon?
No, but we don't know nothing about Glennon either.
No, I don't either.
So for him, no, but I'm saying Glennon is in no position to feel like I thought this was my job.
They kind of insinuated it, wouldn't you think?
Right. I mean, this is like when Matt Flynn the Seahawks and then couldn't win the job over Russell Wilson his rookie year.
Yeah, but that was after the fact.
It was after the fact. Yeah. And they also didn't draft Russell Wilson 3rd overall.
Right.
And
what did they get him in the third round?
Third round, and
Right.
Matt Flynn couldn't win that job, which, I mean, in hindsight, Russell Wilson is a good quarterback.
Yeah, and
But
look, nobody's, we're not crying here for Mike Glennon or for, Matt Flynn because, they have to go home with all of their millions of dollars and, feel slighted by an organization. Like, that's not what we're doing here. It's just, it's confounding. It's weird. It's a weird situation. Like, I don't know what the Bears are doing. I'm glad I'm not a Bears fan.
right,
How about that?
Very glad I'm not a Bears fan. Also, kind of this happened the other day. The Bills fired their GM
After the draft. Yeah.
So that was funny. That kind of leaves a sense that Sean McDermott kind of I think they were going to fire the GM, but they couldn't go into the draft with a GM that had done no preparation.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they dropped the ball on firing the GM with Rex Ryan.
Probably, yeah.
And then they were like, oh, shoot, our coach and this guy maybe aren't going to work together. But what are you going to do 2 weeks before the draft? Bring in a GM that's done no preparation. At least Whaley was preparing for the draft as if he was still going to be the Bills GM moving forward.
Right.
So it wasn't like this was a lame duck GM that was going to do something bad, like sabotage the team or something. He probably didn't know this was going to happen. So if I'm owner of the Bills, I'm like, let's let this guy get us through the draft because we don't want a GM going into the draft with no preparation.
Right. Which, begs the question, did he know or didn't he know? Because if he did know, then obviously what would be the point of doing what you think is the best job if you're just going to be, out the door anyways.
Right.
But another strange situation by, a 100-millionaire organization just running it by the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
Let the guy in there. We'll fire him later. All the scouts and everything, get them out of here too. Any other weird moves that you had from the draft?
I thought that John Lynch, the aforementioned Lynch who made the move with the Bears, actually did a pretty good job in his first draft when, I think even on this show, we may have wondered what credentials John Lynch has to run a football organization.
Right.
Considering he went from the NFL into TV and then, as far as I know, been out of work and now into, GM of the 49ers. But he did really well.
Right.
And what was really smart was sneaking back into the first round at 31.
Using the pick that he got from the Bears to sneak back in and get who they had initially as like a top 5 on their board anyways.
Right. They got Reuben Foster. So they ended up with the third pick, Solomon Thomas, and another, what everyone thought, like you said, it was a top 5 pick in Reuben Foster. So San Francisco looked good on the first night of the draft. We'll come back and we'll get into quick hits and NBA talk and a bunch of other stuff.
We'll be right back on the couch, just in time for you to get a cold one.
Yeah. Can you see now? No, really, my stepmom's not. I'm playing Freddie Mercury, shaded like some curtains beat. And my fate is certainly, I need the money urgently. All I see is green and green around me like a nursery. Currently, a little bit of spitter, that's that currency. Tell me how you heard of me, how on point the verses be. I'm not the best, but virtually, I'm grinding like a worker bee. Chick be out of mind, she thinks she finna get a purse from me. Like she the one that's in here putting in this work for me. I put lyrics on wax, that's my heart and my soul. Let go of the past, surprise how far you can go. Not saying it's facts, that's just what I've been told. Didn't say it, you asked, I just thought you should know. And I ain't got no time for a hater. Can't feel you like I'm smoking on the vape, like smoking on the vape. And I ain't got no time for a boy talking down, use a motherfucking faker, Can you see now? Can you see now? Can you see it? Yeah, can you see now? When you see me, baby, don't be acting see now. Can you see now? Can you see it? Can you see now? Can you see now? When you see me, baby, don't be acting see now. Okay, what the status of it? What the lick read? I make magic of these lines, Roy and Siegfried. I never backed it on the bus, I was a big dweeb. Now I get on tracks and I just bust should be in big leagues. Had to get my mind and money right, so glad I went to school. Plus it taught me how to handle booze, become a man and rule. Ran the campus even when I panicked about finances. Never thought the lowest standard, it's a chance that I've been granted. I swear I go so hard. That's that shit they don't like. And I swear yo girl so slow. That's that bitch I won't wipe. So peculiar is my whole life. I'm familiar with them strobe lights. I got 7 bottles and 6 mollies for 5 days. It's like 4 nights. Okay, MySpace but no website. My time, get your clock checked. I'm shit faced for my next flight. I board the plane with that pop breath. When I open my hammered eyes, I got a hand job in my backpack. I hope my bitch ain't camera shy, cause I give her something to look back at. Like, can you see now? Can you see it? Can you see now? Motherfucking feel it. Can you see now? Can you see it? When you see me, baby, don't be acting see now. Can you see now? Can you see it? Do you see now? Do you see it? Can you see now? When you see me, baby, don't be acting see now. Trunk full of beat, ride to the beach, bomb like the Middle East. I got killers in the street. Trunk full of beat, ride to the beach, bomb like the Middle East. I got killers in the street.
Trunk full of beat, ride to the beach, bomb like the Middle East. I got killers in the street. Trunk full of beat, ride to the beach, bomb like the Middle East. I got killers in the street.
Yeah, yeah, baby, don't be acting see now. Yeah. Can you see now? When you see Big Johnson, don't be, I can see now. When you see me, baby, holla at a pro. When you see me, baby, holla at me, boy. See me when you see me, baby. When you see me, baby, holla at your boy. Say holla at your boy. Can you see now? Can you see now? See now? Can you see now? See now? Or you the #1 draft in the league now?
And welcome back to The Couch. You're listening to The Couch on 247miami.tv and on YouTube. YouTube link is in our Twitter and on our Instagram at The Couch_radio on Instagram and at The Couch_Miami on Twitter. Couch is also brought to you by BeastDFS.com, your one-stop shop for daily fantasy analytics. The Beast DFS contains critical, valuable, and insightful information necessary when creating a daily fantasy lineup in NFL and NBA. Go to BeastDFS.com and download your copy of the Beast Junior for free today. BeastDFS.com, BeastDFS.com. And now it's time to get into quick hits.
Quick hits. That's right. Quick hits. First on our agenda for quick hits, we are going to get into a little thing called Fyre Fest that happened over the weekend. Are you aware of this situation, Matt?
I did. I heard about this. Yes, this is a funny story.
Okay, so just to give you a little background on what exactly Fyre Fest is, it was touted as an ultra exclusive, most luxurious music festival ever, spanning 2 weekends on a private island in the Bahamas, sponsored by Ja Rule, and costing anywhere from $3,000 to $12,000 per ticket, with acts like Blink-182, Ray Sherman. Who else was supposed to be there?
Migos
was supposed to be there.
I heard a lot. There was supposed to be a lot of big talent. Yes, it was supposed to be like in the Bahamas, beach. I don't know if there was supposed to be some kind of big mansion.
Swim with the pigs, luxurious establishments, beach camping and partying. Emily Ratajkowski was promoting it, an Instagram model, also in the movie Gone Girl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Ja Rule, especially Ja Rule.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was this was geared towards like younger socialites, people with obviously a lot of money. I don't want to necessarily say millennials. I mean, I think I fit into the category millennial, but that doesn't necessarily mean that
just
I have
young,
money.
rich people trying to party.
Exactly. Just trying to have party, a super exclusive event in the Bahamas. Here you go. But you follow Ja Rule, and now guess what happens? They show up to the island, and apparently the luxurious accommodations are described as something similar to FEMA tents for a natural disaster.
Right.
Like just globular tents with no sort of like any sort of bedding or anything in them. Like maybe there was cots or something like that. They said that there was a lack of food, a lack of water,
a lack of performances.
All of the artists canceled.
Yeah.
A lot wrong with the situation. There was I guess the Grand Eczema authorities, whatever, for the people that were allowing flights to come in and bring these people there, said that's it, that's enough. Nobody else is coming here, so they stopped flights. Which there was people trying to fly from Miami that ended up having to get off their plane and never even make it to the island. The people that made it to the island, again, they were supposed to have gourmet food. People were taking pictures of like sandwiches inside of a styrofoam box, saying that they were dehydrated. They didn't have any access to water. There was no booze. There was no beer. There was no acts. There was no partying. There was nothing. It was like somebody described it as the Lord of the Flies, except with a bunch of people wearing bathing suits. And so what ended up happening was the people turned on each other, just like in the Lord of the Flies.
Mm-hmm.
So some people had some rations, some people had some food, some people had some alcohol and some partying equipment and stuff like that. So people started stealing bags from each other. That ended up in like passports getting stolen, people getting stranded and not being able to return to the United States. All in all, by Friday morning, Firefest had been canceled.
Okay, this the best part about this was Ja Rule kept saying like, I'm sorry, but this is not my fault.
Oh yeah,
I apologize, but I want everyone to know this is not my fault.
correct.
He says, I truly, and this is a statement. This is a screenshot of a note that he wrote, and this is on his Twitter, and this is just an excerpt. I truly apologize as this is in caps, not my fault.
Right.
So he's apologizing, but it's not his fault.
It's almost like he's pleading no contest to throwing a party. I take responsibility, but I didn't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you just plead no contest to things in life? Like, sorry, I didn't do it though.
Find the evidence.
Yeah.
So these rich people showed up to party, nothing was there. They got stranded for a few days, and that was that. And I did see that Ja Rule said that there's going to be an application for a refund.
Oh, well, so they said there would be an application for a refund, or what they would do is they would comp people tickets for next year's Fire Fest. Because this one went off so well,
yeah,
there's going to be a sequel,
yeah,
and then you could have tickets to that one instead.
Yeah, and the people who attended this one next year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, the Aaron Hernandez story, this is not even really related to really Aaron Hernandez, but just another weird kind of thing going on. The Aaron Hernandez murder car, radio air quotes, that was allegedly used in the 2012 double homicide that he was eventually acquitted of, has hit eBay.
Oh.
And so far, you can get this. It's a Toyota 4Runner with only 53,000 miles. So if you're actually worried about it being a functional car, it probably is. It's only got 53,000 miles on it. Okay. And it's so far, I guess the highest bid is like 10 grand, which I mean,
that's it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't Aaron Hernandez's murder car, I'd pay 10 grand for a Toyota 4Runner with only 50,000 miles. I paid 9 grand for a 2009 Ford Ranger with 30,000 miles.
What year is the 4Runner?
I don't know, but if you imagine,
it was Aaron Hernandez,
and he was leasing it
5 years ago. It's got to be 5 years old.
He was leasing it in 2012. I don't see Aaron Hernandez leasing a car that's not brand new.
Yeah, I'll take a 2012 4Runner murder vehicle for 10 grand.
You know what I'm saying? And I read too, like on the description or whatever on eBay, he's like touting it as like still has forensic fingerprint dust in the vehicle.
Oh, good.
And it comes with a
AK-47.
No, it comes with a signed Aaron Hernandez jersey.
Oh,
because when Aaron Hernandez leased the car from this guy, he, I guess, gave him some memorabilia and stuff for it. So yeah, you can bid on Aaron Hernandez's 2012 double homicide murder car.
Package deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you get the autographed jersey too.
So going back to airline trouble, are you familiar with X-Pac?
Yeah, old WWE.
Correct. So the wrestler formerly known as X-Pac was arrested this weekend trying to board a plane from LAX to the United Kingdom with a bag full of narcotics. Drug-sniffing dogs alerted the officials, who found a cache of edible and vapor marijuana products, as well as 38 methamphetamine capsules. He had around $700 in cash on him, which I would say for X-Pac is probably not that much, especially when you're going to the UK. I mean,
Yeah.
But they decided that based on the amount and the amount of drugs and the amount of cash, that they were going to charge him with possession with intent to distribute, which is a felony, and he's in trouble.
Yeah, that's not good. He's claiming that what was thought to be the meth is was medicine for yeast infection, which I didn't know men got. I didn't know that.
It's possible.
It's possible. Okay,
yeah.
I thought that was like a women wet bathing suit thing.
No,
because of the female parts. But he claims to be clean and sober, and says those are not methamphetamines. It's for my yeast infection, and it's all a misunderstanding. He said that on his podcast, which is called X-Pac 12360.
Okay.
So if you want to check that out.
Well, hey, hopefully that gets resolved.
Yes. Yeah.
We wish X-Pac all the best.
Yeah. There's no way he's come on hard times and had to resort to selling drugs. Also, the other night, or was it last night? I don't know. The Met Gala.
Yes.
Last
night.
So this is something you may not know. I'm sure you're interested in it. My sources told me that Julian Edelman was seen partying with Adriana Lima.
Ooh.
Yeah, they discontinued their relationship a few months back.
Now they're back.
After the Met Gala, they were seen partying at Rihanna's after party, but supposedly they're not completely back together. So Julian Edelman did not show up with Adriana Lima for the Met Gala. She actually showed up with the other small white Patriot wide receiver, Danny Amendola, and they were sitting at Tom Brady's table. So, yeah, just some more of the hot stuff on the streets that Edelman and Adriana Lima are hanging out together.
Oh, well, that's pretty juicy. Let's go to like a little, not necessarily NBA, but it has to do with the NBA. Are you familiar with a gentleman named Lavar Ball?
Lavar Ball, yes, I am. An absolute lunatic.
Well, the father of the projected number 2 overall pick and upcoming NBA draft, Lonzo Ball, as well as internet star LaMelo Ball, the kid with the fluffy hair that scored like 90 points, I think, in a high school game.
The bad Odell Beckham hairdo.
Yeah, well, LaVar Ball just joined Twitter. You can follow him at LaVar. I think it's LaVar Ball Big Baller or something along those lines.
Oh, great. So LaVar Ball can now get his idiotic thoughts out to the world at the press of a button.
For everyone to see.
Oh, great.
Correct.
That's what this world needs.
And he potentially, he's already appeared on multiple ESPN and probably Fox Sports outlets embarrassing his children, dancing around, talking about the Big Baller brand, which, according to him, is going to be larger than Nike and Jumpman and Adidas. He thinks that Big Baller brand is going to be the next big thing, like the next Under Armour. You know what I mean? And while he's been promoting this and going on, tirades, talking about how, what did he say about UCLA? There was too many white kids.
Too many white kids. That's why they lost in the tournament.
And, they don't need the sneakers, a sneaker endorsement from any of the major 3 people because he's, Lonzo's going to be wearing Big Baller brand, which, I mean, come on. Well, I'm not a sneakerhead, but what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing to your kid? These antics. Like I said, Lonzo Ball is going to be the first top draft prospect to not be offered an endorsement by Nike or Adidas or Under Armour. They all passed. They all said, you know what?
Hey, you know what? I'm really happy about that because it was only a matter of time before LaVar Ball started costing his kids things.
Yeah.
Eventually it may be draft spots if teams in the top 10 are just like, hey, we're in the top 10 for a reason. The last thing we need is Lavar Ball hanging around.
Right. Because you know that when wherever Lonzo ends up being drafted, it's a package deal. You know what I mean? I don't think he's technically his manager, NBA player, because it hasn't happened yet or whatever. You know what I mean? But you know that he's coming in there. He's going to want to talk. He's going to want to interject his thoughts into the organization, whatever. Like, this is getting into the NBA. Was drafted, like he's already said, like, what did they say? They made some statements about the Lakers. He wants to talk with Magic Johnson and learn how to play for Magic Johnson. Like, okay, so do I.
I hate LaVar Ball. I think he's just like his wife, just someone who knows that they've got this voice and they've got these opinions that just are gonna get under people's skin.
Right.
So it's all look at me. And look, hey, it's working because Lord knows everyone's talking about LaVar Ball a lot more than they're talking about you and me and whoever else is complaining about LaVar Ball.
Right.
But like I said, at a certain point, has to relax and let his kids live their life.
And like, when it comes to trying to start this brand, like everything is just so over the top. Like, what the hell, big baller brand? Like, you think that that's going to be like that big baller brand shoes? Like, hey, look at me in my big baller brand. Like, it's like No Limit Records shoes or something. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like he's a little bit delusional in the same kind of breath that you were talking about, you know, that which we don't speak of, Mrs. Grimes, you know, another delusional human being.
And who probably, you know, he ended up finding a job elsewhere, but his wife probably cost him, you know, his time in Miami. We didn't re-sign him. Probably a lot had to do, A, his declining play, but B, we don't need a guy with declining play with a wife like that
Getting arrested outside the stadium.
Yeah. So yeah, LaVar Ball is,
and after he was signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we're going off on tangents here now, but then, you know, the owner of the Bucs happens to be Jewish, and she went off on an anti-Semitic tirade about the owner of her husband's new team. Yeah, so that should go well.
At least LaVar Ball hasn't been like a racist or anti-Semitic or anything like that, which oh no, he did. He said there's too many white guys on UCLA.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of racist.
Kind of.
You're basically saying white guys aren't as good at basketball as black guys, and you're like very generalizing it.
Yeah, but it's kind of true.
It is kind of true.
But I don't know.
All right. Tyronn, one more thing I want to get in here is Tyronn Lue has come out and said that the Cavs is the toughest head coaching job in the NBA.
Huh.
And I don't really buy it because you got LeBron James. Like, dude, what you think your job is harder than like whoever is trying to get Philly out of the gutter? Or you think your job is harder than someone who, you know, goes into Phoenix and knows like if they don't turn it around in 3 years, they're out?
Quinn Snyder coaching the Jazz, who are about to go up against the Golden State Warriors.
Right,
now.
like that guy's
That's
job is
a little
pretty
harder.
tough right now. Yeah. You got Tyronn Lue's over here wondering if they're going to beat the Raptors in 5 or 4. Like, come on, Tyronn Lue.
Yeah, I don't really understand the basis of that. I mean, I understand what he's talking about when it comes to like pressure.
Okay, but all that pressure is on LeBron.
Right.
Like if the Cavs lose, it's
Nobody's
not
blaming
Tyronn Lue's fault.
No. So perceived pressure, or I guess.
I mean, yeah, there's perceived pressure. Like it's perceived pressure because the Cavs as an organization are expected to win.
Right.
But that's not Tyronn Lue's pressure.
No, it's not. You know, the hammer's not going to come down on Tyronn Lue. It's going to come down on LeBron.
Okay. Well, when you put it that way, the hammer's not going to come down on LeBron.
No. Okay. LeBron's not going to get fired. Tyronn Lue will get fired. But nobody's going to blame Tyronn Lue, is what I meant to say.
Right.
That's what I meant by that.
Right.
Nobody's firing LeBron James from the Cavs. Sorry to, you know, inform anybody that hoped that he was going to probably go somewhere else. I think he's probably there for the remainder of his career. And then I have another Cavs tidbit, another Cavs quick hit. Dante Jones, the 36-year-old NBA veteran. Were you aware that he was still on the Cleveland Cavs?
No.
That's because he signed a veteran minimum contract on the last day of the regular season. But he had quite the contribution in the final minutes of Monday night's Game 1 against the Raptors. Dante Jones earned 2 technical fouls in 3 minutes and was ejected from the game. Now, because of the timing of when he signed, Dante Jones' prorated check from the Cavs is going to be $9,127. Each of those technical fouls is a mandatory $3,000 fine. So he getting paid $9,000, blew $6,000 of it in 3 minutes in the game on Game 1 on Monday night. So he's got $3,127 left of his Cavs paycheck.
Wait. A minimum. So it's prorated for just like 5 games
For like one game.
that he played in, that he appeared in?
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
LeBron will probably pay for the fine, and he's got plenty of money. It's just funny logistically when you think about it. Like,
wait, what did he get teed up for?
He just got a technical foul for like a hard foul, and then he was arguing with the ref for calling Kyle Lowry names or something like that. So like, all right, get out of here.
Yeah.
The game was out of hand anyways, but it's just funny. It's the logistics of it are funny.
Okay. That will conclude quick hits, and after this break, we will come back with a couple segments, and we'll talk about what's going on in the NBA playoffs.
Welcome back to The Couch. You are listening to The Couch live on YouTube. You can find that YouTube link at @thecouch_Miami on Twitter, or The Couch Radio on Instagram, or you can listen to us live on 247miami.tv. If you have the TuneIn app, 247 Miami has a channel on there. 247 Miami broadcasting the events of this amazing city to the world. You can follow 247 on 247 Miami on Twitter and Instagram, and like 247 Miami on Facebook. Coming up next, we have one of my favorite segments. The voice is going to be a little bit different, but the content will be just as good. We are going to go to a little Dubby Knows All.
Dubby Dubai knows it all.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Hoo-ha! Do you know who I am? I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
That was stupid. Was it?
All right. This is not Dubby. This is Matt. Poop.
Poop knows it all.
All right. This is Poop Knows It All. So we'll start with this. In 2004, Forbes named J.K. Rowling the first person to become a billionaire in U.S. dollars from writing books. I never knew that. J.K. Rowling did so well, she was a billionaire. By 2012, she had donated so much money to charity that they had to remove her from the rich list because she was no longer a billionaire.
Oh.
Yeah, so
how nice of her.
How nice of her. All that Harry Potter money. All right, next up, keeping in science fiction entertainment, The Lion King was mostly created by first-time animators. Many of Disney's senior animators had zero faith in the project, said the story wasn't very good, and I don't know who was going to want to watch that one. And they chose to work on Pocahontas instead.
Huh.
Yeah. And I think Lion King ended up being a little better than Pocahontas.
I don't even remember seeing Pocahontas.
Yeah,
I know the story, but the cartoon.
I don't even know if they even made that movie.
I mean, they probably shelved it.
All right, so let me find one more here for you.
How could you not like The Lion King?
I know, it's a classic story of power and love and loyalty.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, what is this? When Beyonce was managed by her father, he made her run a mile while singing so she could perform on stage without getting exhausted. I've heard a lot of people do that.
Really?
Like singers, they'll sing while they're working out, so that way. So yeah.
Maybe I should start doing that so that I could become a singer. You think so?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, thanks for shooting down my dreams.
Okay, last one. Did you know Michael Jackson pranked Russell Crowe for 3 years straight, even though they'd never even met? When MJ found out that Crowe stayed at hotels under the last name Wall, he started calling his rooms all the time saying, "Is Mr. Wall there? Is Mr. Wall there?" And what's holding the roof up? Ha ha.
Wow.
So Michael Jackson was quite the prankster.
Actually, not shocking that he would do something like that.
All right. That'll be it for Dubby Knows All, presented by Poop Clem. All right. And now we are going to get into Simple Jack. But before we get into Simple Jack, I will let you know that Simple Jack is brought to you by Now Trending News with a Twist. It's every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. live on 24/7 Miami Radio. It's really good. I listen to it. Follow them at Now Trending 24/7 on Twitter. Now Trending. And
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to what is allegedly Judge Judy's favorite segment.
Interesting.
This week's Simple Jack is brought to us courtesy of NBC2.com out of Collier County, Florida. You're familiar where that is?
Yeah, that's where Ray Finkel's from.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's the Naples area. It's also where Judge Judy lives. If
Okay.
you didn't get that little hint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying. A man was arrested last week
I know what you're saying.
in an area called the Golden Gate Estates near Naples for snorting cocaine in the middle of the street in front of police. Collier County deputies were working to evacuate the area due to an approaching 5,500-acre brush fire when they came upon a man walking in the middle of the street. The man motioned for them to come here, little, radio pantomiming, waving his fingers, saying, "Hey, come here, cops, come here," while he's walking down the middle of the street. The deputy approached, and he began sniffing cocaine directly from the plastic bag. He was obviously arrested without any further incident and was charged with possession of cocaine.
Right.
And he is being held on $5,000 bond.
Hey, come here, cop. Look at my drugs.
Look at me. Look at what I'm doing.
Hey, look what I can do.
What that says to me is there was a lot more of those drugs already
in his
him.
yeah, and probably more than just a little cocaine.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, so now we are going to wrap up the show with a little update on the NBA playoffs. So the second round has begun.
Correct.
And there was a few shockers. Starting off with Houston absolutely demolishing the Spurs last night.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
It was surprising. A. B. I think the Rockets are actually really good, but I'm not going to get too much into it because, we've seen the Spurs blow out the Heat and then the Heat go on to win the series. We've seen the Heat blow out the Spurs and the Spurs go on to win the series.
Right.
Game one is not very huge in terms of these second round games because, the Spurs could still very well win this series.
Right. And so just comparatively speaking, when you look at the way that the NBA playoffs usually unfold is you usually end up with chalk. You usually end up with the top teams. It's just how you're going to get there.
Right.
So, out of all of the top seeds,
everyone is moved on except the 5 seed Washington won.
And Utah was the 5 seed.
Okay, then sorry. Then Washington is a 4 seed.
Washington is the 4 seed.
Yeah, so everyone
but
chalked.
Even that is like it's technically the same record. It's just whatever. So it's all chalk. It's how you get there. I was shocked in the manner that the game went down because you didn't really get a great game offensively from James Harden. The reason why it happened was they shot 53s and they made 22 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're going to steal a game at home in San Antonio, or I'm sorry, away at San Antonio, if you're the Houston Rockets, that's what you need to happen. You have to have the role players step up. And look, even if James Harden is having a bad night, like I don't care how good your defense is, if the other team is going to hit 22 out of 53s, like you're going to lose the game.
Right.
There's no way around that.
Cavs won. That series is probably going to go the Cavs' way the whole time. Boston beat Washington, which going into that game, I would have chose Washington to win the series. I think Washington's a better team, but Boston won that game, and they won it going away like up 15.
And it was crazy because did you watch any of the game at all?
A little bit. And
Well,
I was at work checking on it.
At the beginning of the game, I think Washington scored the first 16 or 19 points or something like that.
Yes.
It was something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And so it went one way, and then it completely flopped and went the other way. And part of that, a big part of that was because a lot of what Washington likes to do is they use Markieff Morris, who's like a stretch 4, and they also use him as a small 5 when they're trying to battle small ball lineups. He fell on his back and got hurt and twisted his ankle or his knee or something like that. So he left for the rest of the game, and that's like the switch happened right there. All of a sudden, Boston started running away with it because now the Wizards don't have Markieff Morris, who, even though he doesn't score a ton of points all the time, he's an integral part of their game. And the thing about Washington, too, is they have a super, super talented, tight starting 5. And then when you get to the bench, it's like, hey,
yeah,
what's the rest of this?
So I think that series might go the distance. At least 6. That's going to be a good one. Finally, Golden State and the Jazz.
Correct.
Probably not much the Jazz can do there. They might steal one in Utah. The most interesting part about this is, as you see the Warriors, there's a report the Warriors players were upset about the Jazz beating the Clippers because they don't want to have to go to Utah because there's no nightlife.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, hey, look, who knows? Maybe the Jazz may only have to steal one in Golden State because they might win all 3 in Utah because
possible.
Golden State's not going to want to be there.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes out of staying in your hotel and getting a good night's rest rather than being in LA and going out all night.
Partying.
There's no way you can win getting a good night's sleep in Utah.
I think I like the Jazz. I like what they're doing. I think they're going to get swept.
Yeah, they probably will. That'll start tonight.
Yeah, so that's tonight.
All in all, I think we're 40 days and 40 nights of NBA playoffs, probably just to get Cavs Warriors again.
I think so too. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Like I said, I don't think we'll see where the Spurs Houston series goes. I don't think game 1 is going to determine it. I'm interested to see, and we'll talk about this maybe next week. What do you think about the Clippers? Like, what happens now with the Clippers? It's a pretty crazy situation.
Yeah. Blow it up.
Yeah.
You've
We'll
been
get into that.
To the couch on 247miami.tv. Thought you were going to keep going. All right, next week. You should have just kept going.